Hello everybody, welcome to episode 55 of the Contest Realm podcast. We're available on YouTube, there's the playlist, SoundCloud, Spotify and iTunes, all links are in bios. And as well to my co-host, Mr. Dan of Frontline MCOC. You can find www.frontlinemcoc.home.blog, links are in the bio as well, for all your information from around the battle realm, as well as guides, breakdowns, and so much more. Hello, mate. It's been a little while.
Hey, Rich, we're back. We took a week off. We got lots of nice messages from people that missed us.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you guys. Thank you for the kind words. We were off for a week, but we were back, and we have a lot on our plate. Busy week in MCOC. We got a Friday news dump on Alliance Quest. Falcon and Winter Soldier dropped that first episode last week, and there's a little stuff going on with Realm too, and some teasers for what's going to happen coming up in that game. So a lot on our plate. I think we should start with the story of the week though, and that's your boy Odin. How are you? How are you feeling about this one, Rich?
A roller coaster ride.
A roller coaster. Did you actually? Did you buy the bundle and did you pull Odin?
I bought 2, as well as the one from the Black Osa Markets at 11 crystals total. Did not even get a snifter, except for a 4-star. But hey, now I can't stack multiple Odins because of changes.
Right, so that's the change, right? Yeah, so you can't bring Ghost and 2 Odins into war, or actually, I think what they were really worried about was like everyone could bring an Odin, and suddenly you could put the crossfight on your teammate in war, and you could just keep stacking, and it would be it would get out of hand quickly. So it wasn't so much about Odin. I think it was really more about Ghost and some of the other champions that people were going to be buffing up. So yeah, it's weird because it's they're taking away the stack ability, but they're also fast tracking him for a buff for his own abilities, for his own playability that's supposed to drop in May. And I know you had submitted some feedback about that.
Yeah, I did that. I thought I'd do like a video because I just wanted to go like what Odin as a character kind of like means from what I want to see, and what I feel I wanted to see was just like things either having similarities to the likes of Magneto and Apocalypse. If the character is going to be more of a support champion, but as well be able to like have a individual punch to the to his own kind of like kit, then it needs to have. I felt that where we've got Magneto and the way that he interacts with tech champions, something similar could be done with Odin and the way he interacts with mystic champions, the way that he has as he has a lot of mystical based powers, the way that he could then interact with those of a mystical nature, so a mystic class would be a good start. I was also thinking about the idea like having immunity. Because he goes into the Odin sleep, what if the Odin sleep as well, instead of it being a dynamic of, okay, well, he's in a sleep for one battle, even though that's completely ridiculous to think that, so what's passed between a battle, Dan, is a year. So he's fought a battle going, do you know what? This battle's actually pretty different. This has actually been a year in Asgardian years. I'm going to take a little sleep. I found that
time is very relative in the battle realm, Rich. You know that.
It is.
So yeah, I mean, hopefully the buff is fast tracked and out in May, and he's a little more user friendly when you're actually taking him into a fight. A big question that I have for you as someone who spent real money, how do you feel about the compensation?
Difficult one, because Kabam will, and the way that the terms of service is done is that no player has a leg to stand on in any kind of place. If I ask for a refund, I go, and I'm not 100% sure on this, I believe I will go into negative credits.
I would think you would.
So that creates more of a problem for me down the line. So I'm buggered if I do and buggered if I don't ask for a refund. But if Kabam is setting a narrative that, look, we made a mistake in getting this character out the way it was because it did change the meta of the game, then having the gesture of the feature Cavaliers as a return, as a goodwill gesture, again, pluses and minuses to that. On a plus side, hey, I've got free crystals. Downside is I'm really going to have to love the next month's champion if I am so fortunate as to pick it up. But
yeah, it's going to depend a little bit on what you pull out of that.
yeah,
Like if you like the next feature champ and you pull that champ, or you pull, I don't know, pretty much any 6-star, you might say, okay, like, you know, that worked out all right. But there's definitely a little bit of, I mean, you bought RNG based crystals, so you get more RNG based crystals, but still, I think, you know, your satisfaction with the compensation will vary based on what you end up pulling from that, and like you said, what the next featured champion is.
I think I did quite well in that. I think if it's the case, I pull myself at least five stars from the featured Cavaliers next month, it will feel like I got an added little bonus.
Oh, sure. Yeah, for sure.
If I get a 6-star, then I will literally be over the moon. I don't think I'd really care what 6-star it is, just to say that, look, that's better than I normally get. Even more so if I'm so fortunate as to get to either the new featured 6-star or the Odin as a featured, or anything really that kind of like amplifies my roster.
Right, for sure. And Odin kind of ties in with something else, because we know he's going to be taking up a buff slot probably in May, based on what they're saying. What do you think about the new schedule where it's 3 per month and one of them is a rework? So now we get a full rework every month, which personally I think is cool, because it's going to help some of the worst champions faster, even though we're getting basically one less buff over the course of 3 months.
Yeah, I think this is the thing. I don't really want to kind of, you know, be rude to Kabam, but it just seems like not month in, month out, but it definitely feels at times they might be biting off a bit more than they can chew, because of the extent where they're trying to tick boxes for different players at different places in the game, and as well also tick the generic box of, we need to facilitate the buffs for champions we committed to last year. There's still a lot of like people calling out for stuff like, oh, you know, Kabam have to do this. They have to like deliver this end game content here, end game content there. And I think people need to understand, we nearly lost this game last year. Well, I say nearly. It came close to a point where players were seriously considering moving on from the game. So what Kabam do in 12 months is incredibly important. And they have to facilitate some stuff where, and I know people go, we need Summer of Pain or something of Pain, we need Act 7.2, but also there's Strikers to a lesser degree, but more to a degree is that stuff with Arena 2.0, more quality of life stuffs that they said they were going to enter in. But I am happy to know that they are lowering down, but maybe putting more of a fine tooth comb over the buffs that are being put in. It's just that we don't get this incident with the Hood situation again. Right.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully a precedent has been set with Hood where they're not going to take away key parts of a champion's kit anymore and still call them better.
Yeah.
You know, as long as that's that's been sidelined, I think we'll be okay. Yeah, I totally hear you. I think, you know, we saw this of that narrative you were talking about a lot in the past week, probably because it's a 5-week event quest month and there hasn't been any big content for a little while, where specifically the end game people are feeling a little bit bored. And you're right, there needs to be content for them. And I think what we're just seeing is some of the growing pains of coming out of the past year and things being fixed, right?
Yeah.
Like, specifically with Act 6 and the change in design philosophy with Act 7, the vast majority of players seem very happy with Act 7. Like that was a change that needed to be made, and it's really helped the game. But the side effect is the people that really enjoy the punishment
Yeah.
of what pre-nerf Act 6 was are left feeling a little lacking. So they need something as well, and hopefully they get it soon. But I think we have to remember is a couple things, like you were saying, like Kabam can only move so fast. With some of this stuff, they have orchestrated a pretty strong turnaround compared to where we were last, end of last March, beginning of last April, where things were looking kind of dire. And I think they're gonna get to it.
Yeah.
But I don't think I don't want to see them go back and be like, oh yeah, like Act 7.2 should, just make you want to pull your hair out. I don't think that's the solution either.
Exactly.
So as long as the hard content, the real end game, like stress you out, push to your absolute limit content is not story quest, I think we're fine. And I think most of the end gamers understand that too, that it doesn't necessarily have to be Act 7.2 or a variant. It has to be something.
Yeah. Yep. I absolutely agreed.
Rich, how are your units doing after last week's featured store-a-palooza?
I've been trying to 100% Act 6.3. That's where a lot of my units have been going, is to clear that content.
Gotcha. So you've been spending the units on the content.
I've been spending units on the content. I have seen value to a degree with the featured store, but also I've kind of looked at it as, I've taken it from a perspective of comparing against July 4th and Cyber Weekend.
Sure.
I do agree that getting to a point of having those selectors, nice touch, right?
The selectors were nice, because that, for me, that was the final 3% of T5CC to rank through my Falcon. So
yeah,
when you're that close and you've got it's just some units,
it's a no-brainer.
You just want to get it done, you know?
I totally agree. And that's what I was kind of like putting the idea across, is like, if you're close, hey, go for it. That's the main thing. But if you are looking for value for your spend of units, you may look for larger packs to spend and see what you get from July 4th, especially with it being under 4 months away, and we're now at a point where, like, are people saving? Are they not? Those kind of things are very, very important. But definitely some like little kind of like grab, if you're like close to a 6-star, hey, go grab it. It's relatively good.
Yeah, I mean, I think I dropped about 1,500 units.
Nice.
In all for the the T5CC selectors, and there was actually some really good starting prices for things like Tier 1 Alpha and Tier 2 Alpha, and 5-star shards as well. So I just picked up a little bit of everything that I thought was fairly priced. A few 6-star shards as well. Might as well pad those. I don't think they were quite as discounted as I would have liked for the unit value, but it definitely felt like there was more value in this featured store than we've ever seen before. So that's nice.
Yeah, true. But also, with changes, that featured store came in completely like out of nowhere. And speaking of
we didn't know that was coming in. Yeah, that was a surprise.
And speaking of stuff that's just come out of nowhere, and that's the Alliance Quest Season 8.5. A lot of quality of, actually a major amount of quality of life changes, if you include the link node situation and the glory store changes.
Yes. I'm very excited by this. As a Map 7 player, this is tremendous for me. Particularly, I think when you look at the removal of the link nodes from things like Tier 3, where anyone who's listening who's on one of those outside paths and has to wait for the inside to clear, and then it's like, oh, do I take the lane? And then you need to ping your buddy, and then your buddy needs to ping you back. And it's like, that's all going away. So that is tremendous. With the CCP did have the ability to give quite a bit of feedback on AQ and got a heads up of these maps, and they did tweak some things and actually removed some more link nodes based on CCP feedback, which was great. So we'll have to see. I think everyone's paths in AQ are kind of determined by things like time zone and when you can play. So we might have to do a little bit of shuffling. I know there's some concern about people with international alliances and how Tier 2 is going to work in Map 7, but I think overall this is a big improvement.
Yeah. I'm going to be moving after current season's over. I'm going to be moving to an alliance that will be doing solid Map 6, and I think we're going to be adding in some Map 7. I think it's Map 7. That's why I'm kind of like leaving as well. I'm gonna have a very busy month in April, and especially with the build up of other games, I need to consider my time. Unfortunately, time is a very precious thing, and I do find myself kind of like, sure, do this, do that. Competitive Realm Alliance, it's and as well the content. So and the other thing, another boost to the Glory store, and two very nice ones for Thronebreakers is they're boosting the Tier 2 Alpha purchase. It's going from 30% to a half a Tier 2 Alpha for the same cost. So this seems like another way that they are addressing the Tier 2 Alpha drought. Like that was a big talking point end of last year, beginning of this year, and they've done a few things to alleviate that. So I feel like they're listening on that one. And a big reduction in the T5CC 5% crystal. Yeah.
2,700 to 1,500 Glory. I don't know about you. That's something I'm buying as soon as it resets every time.
Oh God. Yeah.
I feel like you have to. When it's like if you're not buying that, like it's kind of like, why did you push the Thronebreaker?
Yeah.
In a way, like you kind of have to.
Yeah, it's just making those gains. That it's just a case of if you're looking for especially for like people that have worked towards that title, and as well I've got like a roster that they're growing, and especially from a free to play narrative, because people were like free to play going, right, well I've got to wait for a variant once every 3-4 months in order to get myself some more tier 5 class catalysts as a larger chunk. The featured store, but it's not a huge chunk. Monthly Cavalier difficulty and the side quest, but as well there's no other alternative. There's nothing a little bit extra on spend, the Glory store is the only other thing. And with the T5CC being a must buy and it now being 1,200 Glory less, well, that's, you've still got an extra 1,200 Glory to spend. You can buy T5B, T2A, T1A, Tier 4 Basic. Like that adds up to a lot of extra stuff when the most expensive must buy gets a significant discount. Yeah.
So I'm liking all of that. I'm liking all that stuff, and I'm estimating that this is probably going to cut my AQ logins in half, which, I mean, that alone, that just feels so good. So it feels like another player-friendly step in the right direction. Again, kind of got to play through it just to see how the flow is and make sure there's no unintended consequences. But I like where they're going with it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Right, I think the question is where we're both up to in game, because there's the thing, it's been a while since we've kind of like updated one another, and I think have we both 100% 7.1 now?
I have 5 paths left, and I am so hopefully this weekend.
Good.
As it's, you get that close, and then you're plugging through, and you don't really look at the rewards, and then when you get close, you're like, what am I going to get? And you're like, oh, 6-star Nexus? I probably need to get this done this weekend. Like it gets a little too tempting, and you're like, I'm probably going to rush through this.
Yeah.
So that's my plan, is get through that, get the big T5CC and the selector, but really, that 6-star Nexus crystal is quite tempting, and I'm looking forward to doing an opening very soon.
Excellent. I've delved back into Act 6.3. I've intended to 100% it by the end of the month or before the next update, which is pretty much doable. I'm going to spend all of next week grinding units. That should be enough to take me through to the end. It's annoying when you don't do the content for about a year and then come back to it and then try and refamiliarize yourself.
Oh yeah, it's a tough re-entry.
Oh god, yeah.
You're like, how did I fight this boss?
Yeah. Once I kind of like got the hang of it, like I fight Havoc all the time in Alliance Wars, so 6.3.3 was actually fine. I ended up alternating between the usage of Colossus, but I think for whatever reason I decided I was planning to bring in Apocalypse to kind of amplify for a Horseman synergy, but I think for whatever reason I didn't bring Apocalypse in. I think it's because on some of the node interactions and lanes, it's like you either have about 2 counters or you have to have like several others, and it was just like I bring Warlock.
Yeah, how do you fit it on a 5-man team? That's the problem.
That's the thing, yeah. Iron Man Infinity War had 2 good rounds, and then 3 good rounds against them, and then the last 1 or 2 was kind of like terrible. And there's one route which I was just getting myself back to, and I was just thinking, what the heck is this kind of route? I don't know if I kind of like I've kind of like talked about this one before, but Havoc on Aspect of Evolution, Bubble Shield, Brute Force, Improved Power Gain, All or Nothing, and Supercharge. Ooh.
That's not cool.
No, it's not. It's really not.
There's a lot of stuff there that can kill you.
Yeah. I didn't know where to start with this. That cost me a bit, but it was just like, oh, how do I deal with this? This is annoying. So I ended up using Warlock and try and rotate around the SP1 as much as possible to power control. But it just doesn't. There is a lot of the problem with these boosts that come up, because I think the boost for this was bricked, so that when a tech champion does something, I can't remember what it was, gains an armor up buff, but it was like, so when you do like a power control, but it's like it's so specific that you have to find champions that are going to be consistently power controlling, and I'm not at a point where I'm going to rank up a champion for this purpose, because it's just like I can't warrant the use of the resource, and that's something that I hope with more champions down the line that this could be done. But anyway, I'm in against Mysteria now, 5.3.5, and I had a bit of a rocky time going back to it. First time back, I was like, oh, why I didn't bring this champion or that champion, and then I'm like, oh right, okay, next time I'll bring this one or this one or this one. Life.
Yeah, no, I am fine with not getting back to Act 6 anytime soon. I've still got Variant 6 hanging out there for me, and we'll see what they drop next month. But based on my available time to play some of the harder content, I'm not going to be getting back to Act 6 anytime soon, just because I got plenty of other stuff to do.
Yeah. I'm kind of at this point we're going, I need to be getting a lot of this stuff done just because, I don't know.
I hear you. Yeah.
I've planned myself. I did say I was going to do Abyss, but I decided to change that. I'll probably do a video about this towards the end of the month, where I just going to think, because of 8 hours worth of grind, per path, I then take those 8 hours and then kind of go, can I make smaller wins to kind of like help my self-esteem? And it's like, well, I'll do that. I'll kind of go, I'll make loads of gains. So I'll do 6.3 this month, and then I'll do 6.2 next month, because then I'll kind of restructure my champions that in order to take on 6.2.5 and one more power for 6.2.4, and the other remaining powers is 6.2.6. But and then kind of look to then by May, maybe June, depending on like how long it takes to do 7.2, which more than likely will drop between like May, June time, is then try and get it done there. And then over the summer, depending if there's new content, I'll just do Abyss every month and take it from there. But it's not a priority, because there's more games coming out and more things to cover, content, more stuff Cabal put out. So
Yeah, only so many hours in a day.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Right, let's move on and talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier. So if anybody doesn't know, we're going to be covering this on a weekly basis, but we're going to do the episode behind. So we'll, like, for example, today we're going to talk about episode 1. So it just means that if anybody gets annoyed about spoilers and stuff, you haven't seen it, we've given you a week head start, so there's no real excuses for this. So
yeah, watch the show. It's good.
It is really good.
It's really good.
I didn't know what to make of it. Like, I was a bit kind of concerned. Okay, we've gone all kind of like magical. Now we're going to more kind of down to earth, I'll call this, to a degree.
Yeah.
And it is just, it tackles a lot of stuff that I like, and that is the repercussions for the actions of the Winter Soldier. Yes,
repercussions that for the Winter Soldier, for Sam, like the repercussions of the blip, the repercussions of being a brainwashed assassin for what, like 6 decades. The fact that, in a movie where they're secondary characters, you can't get into that, but in the TV shows, like, there's time for Bucky to sit and talk to his psychologist, and it seems like clearly Bucky's on a path where he's trying to make amends. There was some real heartfelt scenes there. Like, clearly he's trying to make amends with that old man that, he killed his son. And it's, you can tell how tough it is for someone like Bucky, who's trying to get back into the real world and just talk to a waitress at a bar, and it's like, it's just so foreign for him. He's so fish out of water, right?
Yeah, there's a lot.
But I do like it. I do like where they're going with it.
There's also a lot of things about the extent of money they have as well, because that's the thing. Is like, I think there's a future bit where Sam Wilson's trying to get a bank loan in order to kind of cover the debt that his sister has, and the family name has, based on the failing family business. But it's like the question about, like, what's the do you make any money being a superhero? And they just basically, in a nutshell, it's like, yeah, to a degree we kind of get like generous handouts and stuff, because it's not, they're not funded by Stark to a point they've got a salary. It's a case they are, I don't know, tools of the government, like you're a civil servant, so to speak. Yeah,
it's a little weird. I think we're going to learn more about that as we go. But if this is set, from what I understand, this is taking place 6 months after the events of Endgame. It seems pretty clear to me that there are no formal Avengers right now. It feels like everybody went their separate way after Tony's funeral. And I mean, this is probably taking place on a month either side of Spider-Man Homecoming as well, and based on that movie and what Peter does in that movie, like it doesn't seem like you can just call up the Avengers. No. and have them solve a problem. It seems like everyone's off. Like, obviously, Tony's no longer with us. Cap's no longer with us. We're going to find out what's happening with Hawkeye. Thor's off world. We don't know about Hulk. Captain Marvel's off world. Like, everyone's scattered.
Yeah, Nick Fury's off world as well.
Nick Fury's off world. Like, who's in charge?
Exactly.
Like, clearly Rhodey didn't get court-martialed, which was, I didn't know Rhodey was going to show up in this, and I visibly, like, I audibly went Rhodey at the TV. I was so excited to see Don Cheadle, and because I just love him, and I'm super excited about that he's going to get his own series as well. But like, for me, that's part of the fun of this. Is I try to look at too many spoilers. But like, in the comic books, you can have War Machine show up out of costume, like, for a couple panels and have a conversation. But like, you could never really do that in superhero movies. Everyone was kind of like isolated, and the fun of the Avengers is like somebody might show up, and it's just like Rhodey had to be that guy to have that conversation with Sam. He's the only character that works with, because you could tell like Rhodey clearly wanted Sam to take up the mantle, but also 100% understood why Sam didn't.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a big part of this show, right? Is like, it seems like for, a bunch of different reasons, not wanting to be compared with Steve, understanding that, clearly there's a difference between the way he would be portrayed as Captain America versus the way Steve Rogers was, that had to weigh on him and weighed into his decision-making. And then, of course, we're jumping to the end of the show. But then when we see knockoff Captain America, like, clearly Sam doesn't like that, and is going to make him rethink his decision. And there's your conflict for the show.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we kind of get the feeling of he doesn't really believe he should be the one to... And even when he took the shield to begin with, like, I'll do my best.
Yeah.
Like
he's got to come to terms with that.
Yeah.
That he is worthy of being Captain America, and that it would mean something for him to be Captain America. And I hope that's the growth and the journey that we're going to get. So the guy in the suit, that's a character who becomes USA agent.
Yeah. In
the comic book. So they're drawing from a couple different sources here. So John Walker, U.S. agent, he originally replaced Captain America when Steve Rogers retired. So I think they're taking a little bit from that storyline, and they're also taking I think they're clearly going to take a bit from the Brubaker Captain America, where Bucky is Captain America. And I think they're kind of morphing those two storylines together for the show a bit, because there's that whole thing in where in Brubaker's Captain America where like Bucky has to steal the shield back. So like I think Sam and Bucky are going to steal the shield from this dude.
Yeah.
I don't think Sam's going to let him keep the shield, because this John Walker guy, like, it's not that he's not a great soldier. It's just that he is the antithesis of the thoughtfulness that Steve Rogers is as Captain America. He's much more of a like might is right guy. He's not a very likable guy, even though he's a capable soldier in the comics. So it's like we're kind of going to have this like three-way conflict between New Cap, Sam and Bucky, and of course the new terrorist group that they're setting up.
Yeah, and with this terrorist group, it looks like we haven't actually established their motivation, especially in episode 1. They haven't established their motivation.
Right, they're just being hinted at.
Yeah, and possibly their clear leader, because that's another thing as well. Like who could be leading?
who was the guy? The guy's obviously superpowered that was throwing around Sam's buddy. Like, is that Crossbones? Is that Zemo? Is that somebody else? We don't know yet. I mean, we saw what's that guy? The Leaper. What's it? Batroc the Leaper. That was in. He fought Captain America on the ship in Winter Soldier. Yeah. Okay, like he was there. He was the guy that Sam is tangling with in the Arial battle in the beginning of the episode, which is one of the great action scenes in the MCU, by the way. Like that is a movie quality action scene, and we really get to see Sam do his thing. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's nice to see the suit back in action as well. But
it is, and sort of an extended look at it where it's just Sam doing his thing as the lead, and not sort of like, hey, I can fly and like launch some missiles, and now we're going back to like 8 other characters. Yeah. So that's because he just it was always more about Cap or Black Widow or in the movies he was in. So it's man, there's a lot going on. It's amazing how when you think about the tone shift from WandaVision, right? Where you're talking magical first episode, no idea what's going on, and this one where it's like very grounded, like very much about like real world, what's happening, political intrigue, post blip. Like it's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this transpires. It's also weird because even though this is only a 45-minute per episode type situation, or 40-odd minute per episode situation, the time goes past really fast.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm like,
No, these are fun, and then I'm like, there's only 5 of these left.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing, but they keep you hooked. But I'm looking forward to I'm hoping in episode 2, Sam and Bucky are actually in the same room together, doing some stuff, because it is cool. Like it's awesome to meet Sam's family and catch up with them. Like, their odd couple relationship is so much fun. I mean that I was rewatching the clip of when Spider-Man fights them in the hangar, and it's like they're on the same side, but it's like you're just like, I hate you. Like it's just like that, like they're just so resigned.
Yeah.
Like that they annoy each other. It's wonderful.
That scene where in the car is like, can you move your seat up? No.
Yeah. No.
No. So he just scooches over.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be good. So I'm definitely looking forward to the odd couple of the MCU being reunited.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right, we better move on and talk about Marvel Realm of Champions, which is it's a game that's still full of like a lot of things that we want to see, but it's getting there slowly. Very slowly.
It is getting there slowly. They did have an update. They've got World Quest back. I do enjoy the cutscenes, but as I've said before, I'm waiting for Thor, which they're at least teasing now in game.
Yes.
He is at least coming soon, and there is inventory for Thor. So that makes me think he's going to drop within the next 4 to 6 weeks. So that would get me excited, because collecting the new characters is, for me, the most fun. I've said this before. The most fun thing I had in game was when we were initially unlocking Super Soldier. So I'm looking forward to have something to chase again.
Okay, this is really weird. If you're watching this on YouTube, and I will explain to Dan and those listening what's going on, where it's got Thor and coming soon, I've just got white splodges where his eyes should be. And this is really peculiar. I don't know if there's a way I can show this to you. I'll try and take a screenshot and then send it to you.
I gotta log in and
I don't know. It's probably just me, but yeah. So I've just got this big kind of like a white cloud with two black dots. It's kind of like the weirdest thing ever. I'll send it through to you in a sec, Dan.
Interesting, because with mine he's black and white, but it doesn't, like, nothing looks weird.
I always seem to like attract the weird stuff, don't I? That's just
you do. You get all the bugs. they send all the bugs your way.
Hey, Rich, this is gonna be a thing that you're gonna have. Yeah, I'm enjoying myself in game at the moment. Still on the competitive side of things with the Alliance. We're always trying to do the best that we can and kind of like we're trying to aim for like top 5 every single time with stuff, which is taking a lot of time out of like my weekend, which isn't great, especially with like what the future holds with the game and other games that I'd love to play. So I need to be very careful about that, because it's like I don't want stuff to be like eating into my time so much.
Yeah, you don't want to get too bogged down. As you said, there's more games coming. Marvel Future Evolution dropped that Star-Lord teaser.
Yeah,
which was cool to see. So they're getting a little aggressive there with these the pre-launch character teases.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen the image in Discord message?
Yeah. Rich.
Is
that you didn't do it? You didn't doctor that?
No, that's legit. If anybody was watching this on YouTube, so like
you have to send that to Thal.
I will. I'm like, I mean, I'm gonna try and replicate it again, but like, I don't think I could replicate that.
Oh my goodness!
It's still there. Oh god! Wow. I will kind of like submit that as a thing. Oh my word. Yeah.
That's an interesting design choice. I'll say that.
Yeah, it is. Oh dear. Right. Yeah. So with with Realm, yeah, having a good time with the grind and stuff, but it can be a bit kind of like strenuous at times. The world quests seem to be cool, which is good, so I'm happy about that. I just kind of feel that there's got to be just a little bit more done with 3.0. I know that it has been talked about at 3.0, or people have told me 3.0 is meant to change the way that we kind of think about Realm, or maybe like it's going to be the thing that's going to inspire people to pick up Realm more. But
that would be great.
Yeah, that would be. It would be great. New weapons and stuff. That would be fantastic. Also, that thing with my image, the Thor image, has actually crashed my device now. That's not good when that happens.
No, that's not. I mean, you could only laugh, but yeah, that is not optimal.
No, not at all. Yeah. Apart from that, I'm not overly playing. Well, I am playing. I'm playing a lot of deathmatch to kind of get my gear up and rank them up quickly. So I'm doing just a lot of deathmatch nowadays, and that's helping out. That's helping out a bit, especially when I'm trying to like do scores for things like champion advancement and other things like that. So. Yeah.
Ooh, Rich. Oh, I don't know if this is real. I was just scrolling through my feed, and there's a rumor that Jeff Goldblum's coming back for Thor: Love and Thunder.
I would love that.
That was I just rewatched Thor Ragnarok, I think last weekend, as I'm rewatching the MCU, and God, that movie's a lot of fun. Definitely. Yeah. Let's get the gang back together. I want to see what happened to the Grandmaster after Sakaar imploded on him.
Yeah. Also, like,
I want to know.
Would he be using any of his powers? Because that's another thing. Like, the Collector, Grandmaster. I mean, he didn't really use much of any powers when it comes to the movies. They were kind of just there.
All right. Let me ask you this: if you could get one Disney Plus show that hasn't been announced yet, that features a character that's already appeared, characters that has already appeared in the MCU, what would the show be?
I think you just like maybe just it's gonna be like a Grandmaster show.
Grandmaster show,
yeah.
And Grandmaster and Collector. I think I would want a Daughters of Thanos show with Nebula and Gamora.
Yeah.
Potentially them dealing with the fallout of Thanos. Maybe like someone comes gunning for them, looking for revenge.
Mm-hmm.
We have to see how they're going to treat the Gamora thing, because it's not Guardians Gamora. It's like from the past Gamora.
Yeah.
Now, so like that's a whole nother thing they're going to have to sort out. But I'm pretty fascinated with how Nebula's evolved over the course of the MCU, and how someone that is a fairly minor character in the comics actually got this really nice arc over the course of Guardians and Endgame, especially.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't it? Just to see like, what happens to those.
Yes, more shows, please.
More shows. Yeah.
We like the shows,
yeah.
But I mean, we've got this crazy spring, right? Where it's WandaVision into Falcon, Winter Soldier, into Loki, and then finally Black Widow.
Yeah.
Like for real this time. Like with the Disney Plus thing, I think this is really the date.
Yeah.
So
I also I'm thinking about Shang-Chi and all the other films. And
Shang-Chi, yes. There's a lot on the schedule. Yeah. We should be getting more Spider-Man soon and Doctor Strange. Oh man, it's just nice with the Disney stuff to like have something every Friday to get excited about, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Something I usually like. I eat some dinner and then watch it. Watch the show, so it's kind of like I like it.
A nice way to unwind after a long week.
Yeah,
of playing Marvel video games.
So true. Dan, what are you up to next week?
Oh, next week, like you said, gonna finish up Act 7 and some guides, ton to write about, and really gotta get my my game in order for the release notes for next month, which we should be talking about in the next podcast.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff to drop with that, lots of spicy nuggets. So make sure everybody is going to be about for that. What am I doing? I'm going to try and see if I can wrap up a lot of the Act 6 stuff that Act 6.3 stuff that I've got, and then do an opening, and then do a guide. But I've got a lot of other guides on my plate to wrap up the month with before some other stuff drops. So yeah, that's probably what I'm up to. And that's been the podcast. Make sure everybody to go and listen and follow on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and as well on YouTube, as well as Dan over at www.frontlinemcoc.home.blog. Links are always in the bio. And we'll see you next time for the next episode 56. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.